Today, we're taking a look at the top weather stories of this past year, and we'll start with a disaster in a part of Canada special to so many of us.
For many generations, the town of Jasper and the parks surrounding it have been a source of pride. With some of the most beautiful scenery in the world.
The iconic mountain town of Jasper up in flames. July 21st, it was 38 degrees, exceptionally dry, the fire danger extreme. The next day, lightning sparked 3 fires and strong winds blew them together into one massive fire just south of the town site. Within hours, the flames were up to 50 meters high and they covered 6,000 hectares of land. 2 days later, it burned into town. The insured damage is estimated at $888 million, but the emotional loss is impossible to quantify. A third of the town burned. Cherished landmarks, including the Moline Lodge, lost. Firefighter Morgan Kitchen killed by a falling tree just a week after his 24th birthday. But there are also stories of resilience and heroism. Quick action by fire crews saved lives, with more than 20,000 residents and tourists evacuated safely from the park. More than 750 buildings saved from the flames, including all of the town's critical infrastructure. Today, residents are back, and so are the visitors. Next up, Beryl, Debbie, Francine, Helene, and Milton. 2024 is the second costliest Atlantic hurricane season on record. This year saw 18 named storms, 5 of them making landfall in the continental U.S., killing more than 400 people and leaving behind more than $300 billion in insured damages. Of note, Florida hit back-to-back by Category 4 Helene and Category 3 Milton, the latter spinning off a record tornado outbreak. But what stands out the most is more than half of the named storms were late in the year, with 7 hurricanes forming in the Atlantic after September 25th. That is the most on record so late in the season. Now to one expensive summer storm in Alberta. Calgary may be the hail capital of Canada, but this summer, one storm caused $2.8 billion in damages. August 5th, 2 intense rotating thunderstorms moved across southern Alberta, hitting Calgary. The thunderstorms brought heavy rain, damaging winds, flooding, and the hail. By the end of the storm, 1 in 5 homes in Calgary were affected. The storm also hit the city's airport, forcing airlines to ground up to 10% of their fleets for repair and inspection. More than a dozen WestJet planes were damaged. Insurance officials point out 5 of the top 10 costliest disasters in Canadian history all happened in Alberta, and all since 2016. Speaking of unusual, how about tornadoes in November?
Look at that! Oh my God! Holy!
Tornadoes in Canada are typically a midsummer thing, but this year stands out for 5 late-season tornadoes, all happening in 10 days. This one was on BC's Sunshine Coast, November 4th. In New Brunswick, the province has never seen one tornado this late in the year before, let alone 3. All 3 happened November 1st. And a tornado hit Fergus, Ontario on November 10th, damaging homes and trees. Officials from Environment Canada say more unusual weather patterns like this are possible with our changing climate. And finally, this summer drenched expectations when heavy rain triggered flooding in several parts of our country. Mid-July, Toronto saw nearly 100 millimeters of rain in just one day. The result, those waterfalls in Union Station, the Don Valley Parkway, and parts of downtown underwater. And it wasn't just Toronto. Rain flooded Mississauga and in London. Some cities in Ontario, July brought nearly 3 times the normal amount of rain, and insurance companies estimate that damage at more than $940 million. In August, the remnants of Hurricane Debbie soaked southern Quebec with record rain, the most in one day in more than 100 years. Basements flooded, people were stuck in their homes and cars. And in downtown Montreal, a water main break took the local CTV station off the air. That's a wrap of the top weather stories of the past year. And as we head into 2025, meteorological outlook suggests the new year could be hotter, leading to even more extreme weather.
If you liked that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.